Hello and welcome. In this session, we will learn another repetition structure, which is the do-while loop. Now, similar to do-while loop, you have to have the four elements when constructing a repetition structure. Uh, the way you're going to write the do-while is basically you start off with a do, followed by a curly brace. The curly brace, what's inside the curly brace will indicate the repetition statements that you want to repeat. So again, you write do followed by curly brace, followed by a while, followed by the condition, and followed by a semicolon. Now you have to make a semicolon at the end of the while to indicate that this is not a while statement, but it is paired with a do statement. Uh, It is found at the end of a instruction to indicate that's the end. And again, this while is not a singular while, but it is paired with the do while. Now, this is how you write your repetition structure. Now, the second element that you need to have some sort of initial value. So let's make int a. Now let's do the opposite. Instead of incrementing, let's do decrementing. So let's say int a, we have the value of 10. Then our condition here is a is greater than 10 or 0. So in this case, a has a value of 10 and it will repeat what's inside there uh, based on this condition. Okay, so let's say cout hello, oops, hello. Then we follow it with uh, yes and l. Okay, then next we need something. This is the fourth thing that you need. You need something to make the statement false, because if we don't have that one, this value of a will be always true, so it will repeat infinitely. So you have to have something to make it false. So to do that, you can make use of this a minus minus, which means it will decrement 1 in every loop. Okay, so here we can test this out. So if we run the code, oops, something wrong. Oh, we forgot to place there and. So if we run this one, we can see here that it will repeat 10 times. Okay, so uh, it means that the looping statement is still a fixed looping statement. Now, the difference between while and the do while is that in the do while, the code or the structure or the condition is tested after the execution of this one. Huh? Compared to the while is the condition is test first before before the repetition statement is executed. But in this case, the condition here is tested or executed before it is tested, no, for if whether to repeat or not. So again, if we have there 5, it means that in the first loop, it will execute this, then test the condition, and goes back, execute this, and so on and so forth. Now, uh, it might be uh, not obvious to see the difference between the two of them if you run the code. But in if you are really good in programming, or you really require you to do it like this to have a precondition or a post test, then might as well make use of a do while. So again, there's a little bit, or you cannot you cannot notice the difference between do while if you have this type of programming. So again, if you run this one, we can see that it is having 5 hello executing 5 hellos. Now let's try another type of variable. Now we are going to use string, although this is not discussed in the manual, but I am here to discuss it further because you might be using this one in your other problems or other programming. So when you say strings, basically these are multiple characters. So strings are like words, no? So let's say, for example, let's place that one into a word. So basically, this is a variable that will store a word. Then we are going to use, so in this example, let's say, for example, you are going to create a password type of program in which you are need to type in the correct password before you can access something. So in here, instead of we're going to make use of word is equal to, let's say our password is password. Okay. Then in here, we can say, please input the word. Okay. So we can have that. Mm. Then instead of having this, we can say cin, and we are going to place it in the word variable. Okay, so again, this is a string variable. So any words that you will be inputting will be placed in this one. Then, of course, it will be tested with the word password in this while condition. So we have to have some sort of access or access granted, something like that, or say hooray or successful. No? So you can have there successful or access granted. Okay, so you can have that. Let's have so it will check if by the way, there's something wrong with our code. This should be not equal to. The reason why should it be not equal to, because let's say for example you input the word hello. So if this one is hello, then therefore uh, since it's not equal to password, then that's true. So therefore it will loop. So it will loop and keeps on asking you to input the correct password. But by the time it is similar password, and since our statement is not equal to, then therefore it is false, then therefore it will exit and it will show this statement. Okay, so let's try to display or run this code. So again, let's say please input, if I say hello, please input the word. So it will not stop until uh, until I will write the proper input. Okay. So again, this is a variable, a looping statement that depends on the variable uh, if it's equal to or not. So if it's equal to, so let's say password. By the way, if even it's password, small case, it will still not accept. It needs to have a proper case before it can say access granted. Okay, so that's an example of a password type. Another thing is I would like to add is using system CLS. Although again, this is not uh, in the program manual, but you can use this one. Uh, System CLS is like deleting everything in the screen. No? So let's say, for example, in this case, if I run this one, let's say if I press their grant, it will delete everything. And again, in that loop, it will display this one. Okay, so let's test it again. Hello world. So again, it will delete. And it's only when we write the password before it will say granted. Okay, so next topic, or in the next session, we will learn the last tool in the repetition statement, and which is the for loop.